Tonight we are going to talk about Broken Lance, the latest Warhammer Plus animation.
Get
We'll
pills
start
for
off
that.
with Space King.
Yeah, I mean, as a big Knights fan, I expected better,
Mm.
but it could have been a lot worse. So that was it was a 7 out of 10
it
for
definitely
me.
could have been worse. The animation is okay. I
Yeah.
don't think the Knights really felt like they should.
No, there doesn't seem to be enough weight in anything that
there
they
wasn't
did.
enough. They didn't feel like they weighed anything. They did things like they weighed something, but they didn't have any heft to them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. I got the impression that the animators that did this are potentially some of the same guys that did like the Blood Angels one.
I think they absolutely are, and I think the lip syncing gives it away because the lip syncing is rough.
And so does the dodgy sound effects for all the weapons. It's like
Yes,
open
exactly,
fire with a Gatling blaster. And it's like, I was like, wait, what? No, can you? Oh, jeez.
Which is another thing that kind of doesn't give you the weight that you need behind the Knights and stuff. It should sound like the apocalypse, sort of going off.
Yeah.
That's what I always
Exactly.
really liked about Fire Warrior 2. Fire Warrior, the game.
Someone should do a
PS2.
number 2. You're right.
They should do.
Yeah, Fire Warrior was good. I had it on PC, and I had a novel as well.
Base it on Titanfall. Yeah, I had the novel. And when you were running around in the trenches there, it felt like a proper war. Like there was shit exploding everywhere and all that kind of stuff. And that just didn't seem to be there. So
no, there's no weight. I mean, like the Angels of Death was the same. They were like open fire with a las gun. It was literally like pew 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 pew. I was like, what the hell? Can you please give this some weight? Like, just like when an Avenger Gatling cannon wraps off, I want it to sound like an actual minigun, like maybe from Predator. So it's not quite a real minigun from like an A10 that just sounds like ripping paper from a distance. But just a Predator minigun, and then just beef it up significantly because its magnitude's bigger. And I'm like, just do that.
It's like you wouldn't expect an assault cannon to sound like a lawnmower, would you? So
no, no.
So yeah, the animation is okay. Like the detail is fairly good. This isn't going to win any awards. It's certainly not as good as what Blizzard have been doing recently.
Yeah, I think Prior Nexus
not as good as Prior Nexus.
Better.
Prior Nexus was way better. Way better from the lighting to the detail.
I think I had a bigger budget, to be fair.
Massively bigger budget, and B, a different studio.
Yeah.
I think it's M2, I think it is, who was working on that one.
Maybe.
And I imagine it probably took a lot longer because obviously it was an hour long in total. It was like 3 20-minute episodes. So I imagine the budget behind that was a lot more prohibitive. But the story of Broken Lance and the way that it was told, I certainly had issues with.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was going to be pretty straightforward, but the subplot to it, I was like, oh, I'm pleasantly surprised here.
I liked the subplot, and I liked some of the ideas in it, but I just don't think it was very well done. So you've got this female night pilot out there fighting off bad guys, and she comes back, and she's an exile.
Yeah, she's a free blade.
Yeah, she's a free blade. And basically she's told that she has to stay behind while the guys, the princes, because she's the exile, she's not nobility, the princes, the sons of the matriarch, who's gone a bit mental and wants to die in a grand last stand, go off to war.
And
they are crap. They are dispatched straight away. One of them you don't even see die.
No.
It all happens off screen. And one of the problems I have about this series, or this one-off, is there's not much action. It's very light on action.
Yeah.
What then follows is a talk between the female pilot and the matriarch, the queen, the old mad queen, in which you find out some stuff, and there's some fairly good A, character development, and I would say B, plot development, which is hampered somewhat by the animation and the lip syncing. But I have to say the voice work was top notch.
Yeah, very good.
The acting was very, very good. So you find some secrets. Obviously, it's 40k. There's always dark secrets. You find out there's a reason for why the matriarch wants the house to go down.
There's a reason for things being the way they are.
Yes. And then essentially the female pilot decides to take things into her own hands and
How many spoilers are we putting into this, by the way?
Well, I want to try and keep away from anything specific. So, what happens between her and the matriarch, and the nature of the knights outside, I think we'll leave that out. But I think it's fair to say that the female pilot takes things into her own hands, goes a bit girl boss, and kind of brings us to the story's conclusion in 5 seconds flat.
Yeah, to be fair, the whole thing was a little bit modern girl boss. It's like, it's like the main pilot is a girl, the queen is a girl, the dudes are crap.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, let's just talk about this really quickly, because I don't necessarily mind having strong women and stuff. But the way that you show that women are strong is by having the men equally strong, not by having the men be weak.
Be crap.
The two men that are in this are they're not even really in it. They're dispatched.
They're literally they're just there to be just fodder. Basically,
they're dispatched. They're both absolute crap. They lose their fights immediately, and they're just awful. And then she saunters in, and she's much better than them, and much braver than them, and much stronger, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, look, this is not how you do strong women. The reason that Ripley was a strong woman is because she was in amongst a group of macho space marines, and she equaled them.
Yes,
she gained their respect. She went from being a little cargo driver to being a warrior in the aim of in the name of protecting Newt. So it's a maternal power, maternal energy. I mean, the end fight is between two mothers, the Alien Queen and Ripley.
Which is fair enough. They both earned it.
Which is what it's all about. Well, that's the feminine energy. A mother will do anything for their child. That's the whole idea.
Yep.
So just by having strang women and weak men, that is not a productive way. And we were talking about how GW's audience is like 90% white male or whatever. This is not the kind of thing that is going to win people over.
No, not at all.
And for that reason, some people won't give it a fair chance. And that's a shame, because there is quite a lot of good stuff in here.
Yeah.
The story was more in depth than I thought it would be. It was nicely written. I would say that it was rushed towards the end.
Yeah, it seemed it. It did
massively
conclude fairly quick.
It was like, really quick. Like one tiny little action scene at the end, and a very, very, I think it's fair to say, one-sided fight.
I think all of the important fights in it are one-sided, one way or the other. There's like a few little skirmishes, like for the first quarter maybe, and you're like, oh, this is serious business now.
Yeah, there's literally it starts off with about 2 to 3 minutes of her fighting.
Yeah,
and basically fighting against the odds, and she's the only one holding back the horde.
It's like a fight and retreat.
Yeah, like a fighting. Yeah, very good way to put it. A fighting retreat. So she's kind of holding her own, but she's got to go back. And then she starts berating everybody, because they're not. This matriarch's kind of just like got an attitude of just let them come, let them destroy us. And as I say, once the two guys are out of the way, it is pure girl energy all the way through. And even though some of it's quite good, some of the conversations between the exile, whose name I can't remember, and the matriarch, although some of that conversation is quite good and there's some good character work there, it just does feel like just girl boss time, really, if I'm being completely honest. And as I say, had you let the princes go out in a glorious fight, then I wouldn't be feeling quite so
shortchanged.
Shortchanged, I think that's a good way. I think that's a good way of putting it. Shortchanged, it just really does feel like it's just like, right, we need to get these two guys out of the script and out of the story as soon as possible. So they leave, and then one of them we see get killed, and the other one dies off screen. I mean, that's the ultimate insult, isn't it? He literally dies off screen.
I mean, the thing is, the way it should be done is you establish that they're actually worthy fighters to start with, by having them actually fight and beat some stuff. Against the odds. Yeah, good job. You managed to get back. And then they come
up against the Tyrant Knight, because I think it was a Tyrant Chaos one.
I'm not too up on the Chaos patterns, but
there's all these knights and stuff. Obviously, all these animation studios, they model from what GW gives them as in models.
Yeah.
So they're not really allowed to make anything new. So I think it was a Tyrant, and as you say, they could have sort of blown up a load of stuff and and they're doing really well, and then the Tyrant comes up and then destroys them or something like that. And then that would also have more tension at the end of the episode, rather than it wrapping up in 2 seconds flat. I mean, there was never any she went out. There was never any doubt in my mind because of what had previously happened in the previous couple of minutes. She was gonna win. And while it might sound like we've got a few spoilers in there's an awful lot of stuff we've not said as well.
We've just covered all the major plot points.
Yeah, the major. Well, I mean, most of the major plot points. We've still
I think most people who are going to watch it probably have watched it by now. Given it's been out for like, a week, maybe.
I don't even know how many people. It's a week tomorrow. I don't even know how many people have got Warhammer Plus these days, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I would say it's worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a massive, massive step down from Prime Nexus in nearly every way.
Yeah.
The voice work is amazing.
Yep, very good.
The animation is
passable.
Mid to good. Yeah, passable.
Mid to good.
The story is good. It is very badly told. It's very badly told. It's very badly paced. It doesn't have time to breathe where it should. If this had been 2 episodes,
that'd been great.
It would have been great because you know exactly where they would have cut it.
Yeah, a bit more Dakar, a bit more characters proving themselves, so you know who sits where in like the pecking order,
exactly
combat prowess and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
exactly
I think they kind of had to. They didn't have enough time to really flesh it out properly.
So I would give Broken Lance
I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
6.
Just about. Yeah. I'll give it a 7 because I like knights and I think they're underrepresented.
Yeah. I'll give it a 6. You're generally a little bit more forgiving. I'm gonna give it a 6. It's nowhere near as good as Prime Nexus
or Iron Within, which was good.
Or Iron Within. No, it was nowhere near as good as that. What I would compare it to, probably the Blood Angel stuff, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think it was a step up from that. But then obviously, if it's the same people that did it, then they've gained experience from doing that first series, and
and they may well have been. Well, obviously, the Blood Angels thing was a lot of episodes as well.
Yeah, it was. Whereas this was just like
episodes?
15 minutes.
Yeah. So
no, it's more than that. It's 20 something, wasn't it?
It was like a feature-length film when all was said and done. When it's just a half-hour episode, and that truncated runtime, as I said, leads to some narrative problems.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, check it out if you feel like it. I wasn't massively impressed. We don't know what's coming up next, but these Warhammer animations are pretty damn sparse. So
yeah, I mean, I
think enjoy what you get, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think the subscription's pretty much worth it because I like going back and watching the Hammer and Bolter stuff again, which I think is great. Most of those are definite hits.
Oh, I did want to mention I've enjoyed watching the battle reports recently, and they
I haven't watched any.
They did a 2nd edition inspired battle report.
Ah, nice.
So it's played with 10th edition rules.
Of course.
It's a narrative game, and it's a recreation of a game out of a really old White Dwarf between Space Wolves and Orcs, where they're trying to capture a Dark Angel's predator. Well, it was a predator in the White Dwarf.
Yeah.
In the game, it's obviously one of them stupid grav tanks.
Yeah, can't have any old school stuff in it. It's too good.
Of course not. No.
Positive video.
That was fun. That was good. That was a good watch. So yeah, they do some good stuff.
I'll check that out. Did we do a list of Hammer and Bolter episodes that we think were awesome?
Yeah, we did. I
thought so. It was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they haven't announced anything yet since.
No, which is a shame.
In Prime Nexus was last year.
Seriously? You're guessing with blurry now. Since lockdown, my assessment of time is just fucked.
Yeah, the days just, especially if you spend time at home, the days just blur into each other.
That and we're old.
It's really weird, actually. My week, a lot of it is actually, sadly enough, determined by Warhammer community. Just like Mondays, I know we get a reveal. Tuesdays, you get the rumor engine. Wednesdays is Warhammer Plus Day, for what that's worth.
Thursdays is Heresy.
Thursdays is Heresy reveal. So.
Yes.
And then I'm at the end of the week. So we need to decide what we're going to do about the preview as well. We'll talk about that after we sign off. So that's a couple of things we've watched. I preferred Space King, I'll be honest, even though it was 90% less lore accurate. I found it more enjoyable.
It was 100% accurate to its own lore.
Oh, to its own lore, absolutely, yeah. But I think they're safe from GW's lawyers.
I think they'll be fine.
I presume those lads know what they're doing. So, till next time, guys. And the next time we'll probably be discussing the Adepticon reveals, which we're hoping are going to be really good. And, we will catch you later.
My stout is gone.
Get another stout.
It's a bad idea. I'm on earlies. No, I'm not. I'm on lates.
There you go. Get another stout.